Welcome everyone, this is Alex for the Coaster Spot, and today we're at Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, filmed mostly on February 13th, but you'll see there was some progress between the beginning of my trip and the end of the trip because I started and ended with Knott's Berry Farm. Yeah, let's go inside and show you the huge renovation that's going to Camp Snoopy, and then we'll move over and look at the remains or the status, whatever you want to call it, of Montezuma Revenge, because it's very sad looking. If you're not familiar with the channel, we primarily do stuff on the East Coast, but did some construction updates here and Universal and Six Flags. So go check those videos out. They're already out and linked at the end of the video. All to the right, as we go into Camp Snoopy, is their old shop. It is getting a renovation. It's not going anywhere, just getting fixed up. And also right in front of us is where Woodstock's airmail used to be. It seems like that's probably going to be located somewhere else in Camp Snoopy. But this is very much under construction. You can see they kept the backstage part of the stage, but foundations are underway for a much more permanent and fitting stage and theater area with a permanent cover. It doesn't look, the old one just looked terrible. It looked like it was an afterthought. It didn't have shade structure originally, and they put this metal thing. It just absolutely looked terrible. So glad that they're doing something that fits in with the theme. As we take a look at the concept art, you can see that it's just a beautiful structure with those half-cut logs as benches. Yeah, great improvement. Makes Camp Snoopy much better in my opinion. And you can just see how many walls are up all over the place. It is just walls pretty much from the beginning to the end of the land with rides poking out that are actually in operation. But here's the Grizzly Creek Lodge, and that is under construction for a renovation, I believe. Not going anywhere. And then here is the Grand Sahara Railroad, which is getting a renovation to the Beagle Express. Gonna have new train cars without covering, which kind of seems like a step backwards. Probably some new theming, just sprucing it up, and kind of, I never thought the name really made much sense as well. I mean, I got why they had it that, but it's better just Beagle Express makes more sense. And as we can go up this and take a quick look at the track, and not really much has taken place as far as I can see. And then here's another look at that lodge. I'm so sad it was closed. If not for the food, I just love that second deck up there. It's a great view of all the coasters out into the distance. And as we make our way back, you can see some rides are still operating, but not many. You can see Montezuma's Revenge right there, the station. And in the distance, the walls right next to the Lannis Launcher, that is where the Huff and Puff used to be, which is one of those rides where kids pull back on a lever and make the car go themselves. That has been removed. Don't know if anything's actually going into that area. We'll talk about that more in a second, but here's the Barrel Bridge. I believe that it's getting a renovation. Hopefully it's just as wacky as it used to be. I feel like they're going to probably make it more lawyer-friendly. And here's the construction area for the new roller coaster and the meet and greet area. Here's a shot of it from the stagecoach ride. Probably the best place to get construction views of many of the areas in Camp Snoopy. You can see they're just on the foundation process of the ride. However, track did just arrive a few days ago as of the release of this video, so it is on its way. It's a clone of the Daddy Pig coaster at Peppa Pig Land in California and soon to be Texas. And it's fun for everybody, really. It's kind of got a little bit of a thrill with that launch and everything. And out to the left, that's where this Camp Snoopy off-road rally is, one of those convoy type rides. That's getting some renovations as well. We'll talk about that in a moment. But here's the Ferris wheel intact, and then 11 days later, it's pretty much gone now. And by the time this video is put up, I'm sure it's probably all gone now. But yeah, the off-road rally attraction is staying, hopefully without those annoying horns. It's a little confusing about where that is actually going to be. That's because we're going to move on to Montezuma's Revenge. You can see the station there. So sad to see this coaster in the state it is. 2 years ago, I was so lucky to ride it. They had extended the closure date by a week or two. I forget how long it was, but regardless, it allowed me to ride it. And I actually rode it on the second to last day of its operation, and it's so sad to see in the state it is. I wish I had poked myself through that door right there, because from Jaguar you could see that they'd already started pouring foundations for whatever they were going to do to it. You know, it was supposed to be converted to having a magnetic launch instead of the whole flywheel launch, and it could launch backwards or forwards at the start of the ride, which would have been really neat. But whatever happened, no one really knows for sure. It seems like whoever they chose to contract to do all these renovations couldn't provide what they needed to for Knott's Berry Farm at the price that they agreed to, so the project stalled. But that was not before ripping out pieces of track. The loop was destroyed. The launch system was destroyed. Leave it in just a terrible state. So it's hard to say what they're going to do with this thing. It doesn't take up a lot of area. It's like practically in a backstage area, the way it's fit in there right there. And, not much would fit in there. That's the only reason why I think maybe something will happen to it. There was recently, just a few days ago actually, during one of their reports for the quarterly earnings, Cedar Fair said how they had canceled a project for Knott's Berry Farm. We're not sure if that was specifically Montezuma's Revenge or maybe the Hyper Giga that was in development. So we don't know. I'd kind of been delaying the release of this video to maybe see if something would be announced. But here you can see the loop is completely gone. But here you can see the station is pretty much intact. Q gates were all removed, and most of the launch stuff was removed. And as you go further down, the loop is gone. And I believe those wheels there were for maintenance purposes for Montezuma's Revenge. If I'm wrong, correct me down in the comments. But here you can see it just launches into nothing, with the old light loop there still in place. The trains have been donated, I believe, or at least the lead car was donated to one of the coaster museums. And it's just sad to see it. And you can see the Grand Sahara Railroad. In the concept video for the park, it has that right next to the off-road rally, which you can see they're nowhere near each other. So that's very confusing why it's displayed that way. I mean, this pathway is in the way. So I'm not sure how those two rides can coexist. I feel like it was just there to make the video look a little bit cooler. I don't know. However, it feels like the old side of the Huff and Puff doesn't seem like it's getting much of a development. So maybe that was opened up and closed for whatever they're doing to Montezuma's Revenge. Maybe a replacement, and they need a little bit more space right next to the station. That would make sense. But anyways, thanks for watching this one, Alex, for the Coaster Spot. Hopefully we'll get some news on Montezuma's Revenge soon. Whether it's closing, whether it's staying, I just want to know. I think everybody wants to know. And I feel like Knott's kind of knows at this point what they're going to do. They're just waiting to announce it. Again, thanks for watching. If you want to see construction updates of Iron Menace or Flash Vertical Velocity at Dorney Park and Six Flags Great Adventure, we do a lot of those. So check out the channel.